And what's going on, guys? Welcome along to another episode of 420 News. Hope everybody's good out there. It's Monday, guys, start of a new week. Hope you all had a better weekend than myself, although I did have a good weekend. It just fucking ended pretty badly yesterday. Yeah, yesterday morning I fell pretty ill. Unfortunately, it required me having to go to hospital, but I'm feeling pretty good today. I was feeling pretty good a while after yesterday as well, but yeah, as I say, unfortunately, I did end up in hospital for a short period yesterday. But as I say, not to worry, all is well. And yeah, we're up and at 'em. Didn't get out myself yesterday to do the 2 kilometers, but I suppose if I included the little stroll that I had around the hospital and stuff like that, I probably got it in there all right. But I just wasn't in the most photogenic of moods to be getting a photo up there. But it was great to see so many people interacting in the 2 kilometer challenge there that we were calling on people to get involved in yesterday for the National Walking Day in Ireland. But I suppose in that, and I'll get stuck into that in a second, I suppose. We'll come back to that. Before I go any further, I'd like to just say hi to everybody out there. Miss Always, what's going on? Hi. Hi, Teresa's out there as well. Peter Kelly. Hello, Aaron. Aaron's out in the audience as well. We've Sean Duggan, Podge is out there, Rudy, Irish Hemp Harvest, R420 Supplies, Mark Andrew, Podge, what's going on, Podge? Hope you're doing good, buddy. Skatanist is there, and Cassidus Drugas. Keto Halloran's out there as well, and Monsieur Fudge joining us as well. You on the stroll home, Monsieur? Or is it a bit early for that yet? Cassidus Drugas says, we're after a grand old hike and swim yesterday, which has put us in a good mind for the week. Hashtag bring Alicia home. And there you go, guys. Yes, hashtag bring Alicia home. I see DB Woodcraft as well joining us. But yeah, bring Alicia home, guys. That was yesterday's activity, I suppose, our little campaign that we were calling on people to get involved in. But talking with Alicia earlier today, and after such a great kind of involvement in it yesterday, and many people wanting to get involved as well, but the weather yesterday kind of kept a couple of people indoors. So they were wanting to do it today and tomorrow and things like that. So myself and Alicia were just chatting there a little bit earlier, and yeah, let's keep it going for the entire week. We got very short notice to get this up and running. So we're going to actually keep this going now for the week, just to make sure that we do cover that 2,000 kilometer distance. But I reckon yesterday alone we came very close to it. We didn't get the 1,000 volunteers that we wanted, but shout out to everybody who did get over there and sign up. A little picture there with some of your, I believe all your names actually up there. There was 70 people who signed up through the sign up form, which was great. It was great to see 70 people sign up, and I know many of the people who signed up actually went out and walked with multiple others who did not sign up. And then I know there's a load of other people who actually just went out and done it after seeing it on social media, and they didn't go and sign up, and that's totally fine. Like for me, this sign up form is just one way in which we could track the numbers. But really, when you go over to social media and you go into, like, if I went over to Twitter there now, search in hashtag bring Alicia home, I get up a whole host of tag or posts and stuff like that from all different people. So I'll pop that up in screen there now for you to see as well yourself. So this is the hashtag bring Alicia home, and when you search that there, you get up all of these. So here's the most recent one there an hour ago by Alicia herself. And Alicia says, my mom, dad and 3 of my nieces walking to support the Bring Alicia Home campaign. She says, no one should be forced to move abroad to access medication. I'm now 22 months away from home. I miss them all so much. And yeah, there's a little video there of Alicia's family doing the walk there, out supporting the call to Bring Alicia Home. And it's all right. Nobody should be forced to leave their home to get access to what is, it's a simple medicine. Cannabis, it's a plant, and the extracts from it, they're easy to obtain. They're non-lethal. Like these young kids there, if they were to get their hands, let's say, on Alicia's medication, should it be medical cannabis? It's a non-lethal. It would pose no risk to them, but yet the government would make it like so impossible for her to get access to it. But meanwhile, opiate-based drugs, which, yes, they could kill these kids, and some of them do look kind of like sweets, I suppose, to young, naive kids, in the pill form. They might think, oh, that's a bit of a sweet there, that I go sucking it, and, the accidents fucking happen. But at least like when you're using cannabis as a medicine, do you know those accidents, they're not going to be fatal. Of our old buddy Kenny Tynan from the Patients for Safe Access, looking fine out there doing his walk for bringing Alicia home. Others out there, Jonathan Victory, what's well done there, and nice one for that. Great video up there. Pop
2 kilometers today for Alicia Marr. She's an Irish woman who had to move to Spain to access the medical cannabis she needs to treat her chronic pain. If you look at the hashtags Bring Alicia Home and Cannabis Reform Ireland, you can find out more about what's going on. But because she's had to move 2,000 kilometers away to access the medicine she needs, because the medical cannabis program here in Ireland is so restrictive, we have over 1,000 of us walking 2 kilometers in solidarity with her, putting pressure on Minister for Health Stephen Donnelly and the Minister for National Drug Strategy Frank Fahin, who haven't been engaging with this issue, even though there are a lot more conditions where people depend on medical cannabis. So if you are going for a walk today, why not post about it with these hashtags?
Legend, Jonathan.
That's Dublin behind.
Sorry, just had to run down there and grab me water, guys, so apologies there for running. But again, let's continue. So again, Alicia getting up a post there, and this next post actually is one from the Cork Cannabis Club. And let's open up in a new tab. Come on, give me the new tab option. No, I had to click into it. Right, so hello Frank Fahin and Get Ireland Walking. I walked 6.5 kilometres from Padraig Sullivan's office. That's the Fianna Fáil, Padraig Sullivan TD here in Cork. And he walked that for Alicia, to bring Alicia home. Hashtag National Walking Day, Bring Alicia Home, Cannabis Reform Ireland, Patients for Safe Access. And tag Micheál Martin, Leo Varadkar, Eamon Ryan, Donnelly Stephen, and Helen McEntee, Minister for Justice there, and the Minister for Health at the end. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, ran up down the stairs pretty quick. But yes, they got out there and he left a lovely cannabis plant here up in front of the Mayfield Business Park sign. Actually, I have a bit of a bigger picture here on screen fee. Boom, there we go. That's a bit of a bigger picture. I'll make it a little bit bigger again. And I don't know if you can make it out here on the screen, but in the pot there's actually written on it, hashtag Bring Alicia Home. So great work there by the fellow campaigners in the Cork Cannabis Club here in Cork. So great work, guys. Great efforts to raise awareness there for a well-deserved campaign. You know, Alicia needs to come home. And other posts up there, any others? We go back there now to the hashtag Bring Alicia Home. Yes, a flake of the universe up there. Also getting out, cleaning up the rubbish as part of the Tidy Buds campaign. Yes, legend of Tidy Buds out there. Cleaning up the streets while also walking for Bring Alicia Home and to raise awareness, you know, for the suffering caused by prohibition. So an hour and 40 minutes of this campaigner's time spent yesterday out walking just over 4 kilometres, almost 4.20. Just shy of that magic number. But great effort nonetheless. Incredible stuff there. You know, and to take over an hour out of your day to go out and pick up the rubbish left there by, you know, the thoughtless others in our society who, you know, through carelessness just toss rubbish out the window. They're not really giving F. But meanwhile here we have like a very thoughtful cannabis consumer who, you know, we would spend a lot of money locking him up should he be caught with his cannabis. And that's very unfortunate because we'd be losing a very valued member of our society here who's doing a lot of good and giving a lot of his time to very worthwhile causes, you know, and that's the kind of people that are make up the cannabis community. We're not all perfect, but look, this is an example of some of the really good ones out there anyway, and there's many of us like that. Our 420 Supplies getting in behind the campaign. I really enjoyed my walk around the lakes this morning. Well done to everyone who got involved in National Walk Day 2021 and raised awareness for hashtag Cannabis Reform Ireland and Bring Alicia Home campaign. And a few tags going there as well. Yes, nice one on 420 Supplies. And how much did he get out? I got over 5 kilometres. As I say, guys, together we've definitely come very close to getting that 2,000 kilometres. I don't think we've reached it just yet, so that's why we've given the extension of the time, just so we can really smash that figure. You know, there's a lot of support out there for this campaign for the access to medical cannabis for patients who suffer with chronic pain. Patients like Alicia, Alicia's probably one of the more extreme ones where she's stuck in another country and can't really come home because she's so public about it. But also there's many faces and voices, patients out there who, they get their cannabis illegally here in Ireland and they stay quiet about it because obviously they don't want to be targeted and have their medicine taken away from them. Mastawes, nice one there. Great idea for a campaign. Well done for organising, Martin. Not a bother at all, Mastawes. We can thank Frank Fian for the old inspiration for this one. We don't get to thank him for a lot, to be fair, but we have to give credit where it's due. And Frank Fian was certainly the guy who inspired me to do this. When I seen him being nominated as ambassador for National Walk, and I was like, well, we're going to walk all over him in this one. Let's do it. But we drive on, and again, Alicia getting a post up there again, sharing our 420 supplies post. We've Natalie O'Regan, past guest on the podcast as well. 3 kilometres done for National Walk Day 2021 to highlight hashtag Bring Alicia Home. In 2021, no one should be forced to leave their home to access medication. A walk takes a lot longer when the pups stop to sniff everything. I definitely agree with you there, Natalie. I have 2 dogs myself and 2 boy dogs, and by Jesus, they love to mark their territory. A simple 10-minute walk there sometimes can take an hour and a bit because they just love to sniff and pee everywhere. Being dogs, but yeah, we're out there for them anyway, and they enjoy it, don't they? And great to see you enjoyed it, and you've a lovely doggo there as well. So lovely puppy. Others out there as well. Alicia putting up here from Yerty Ahern. This is Caroline over in the UK. She got a walk done in knots. It's ridiculous that so many patients are moving or unable to return home for access. We shouldn't have to do this. Hashtag Bring Alicia Home. Hashtag National Walking Day. Hashtag Cannabis Reform Ireland. And tagging some of the ministers there as well. And even myself. Jeez, nice to be included there with the other ministers. But Yerty Ahern, guys, that's her name is Caroline. I can't remember her surname, but she was featured on the 420 News last week. This is the chronic pain patient stuck in the UK who's got access to a private script over there, but is afraid to travel back home because of fear of being prosecuted for the medicine which is legally prescribed for in the UK, but here in Ireland she would be a criminal for it. So she got out there yesterday and got an incredible 14 or 10.8 kilometers up there. So nice one for that, Caroline. You legend. Great stuff. And we have DB. What's going on, DB? DB got in 8.89 kilometers. Legend. Fair step in there. That's my 2 kilometer quota, and 2 kilometers for 3 other people who have yet to come out of the cannabis closet due to prohibition. Supporting hashtag Cannabis Reform Ireland and hashtag Bring Alicia Home. And tagging Alicia Mar there and on National Walking Day 2021. So incredible stuff there, so yourself and 3 others getting in over 8 kilometers together, and I'm sure if we start including the doggos there as well in these campaigns, we would have long covered that 2 kilometers. But we won't go doing that. We just people for now. We might do the dogs next time. And here we have more people out again walking for Alicia. This is up by Alicia now. Martina and Laura doing their 2 kilometers each towards the Bring Alicia Home campaign, all the ways from Moose Jaw, SK Canada. So yes, we got some great coverage of the campaign as well, to be fair. So we've this post from Canada, also over on sorry, I'll get this down there now. Over on Facebook we had Alex Fraser, so we won't get this one up on, but Alex Fraser was one of the founders there of the United Patients Alliance in the UK. So there's the United Patients Alliance, some of their stuff you might be familiar with, but he even got out there and done it yesterday. So this is over in the UK. There's his post up there yesterday. A bit of a sweaty 2.5 kilometer run today in protest, and as I'm running to raise awareness for medical cannabis patients in Ireland. It's ridiculous that chronic pain is not one of the conditions covered by the Medical Cannabis Access Programme. Across the border, around 70% of medical cannabis prescriptions are for chronic pain. Yes, and that is the case in the UK, where a lot of people who've got access to medical cannabis here, Alex says 70% of those are for chronic pain. And he goes on then to highlight, myself and Patients for Safe Access, having organised the event to highlight the suffering caused by the lack of access to cannabis in Ireland. So legendary Alex, and again, you know, it goes on from there. We'd people over in Australia take part. I even had friends in Thailand send me some snaps, who were taking part. So that was great to see people, you know, all over the place. Even in Portugal, Casa de Strugas was out there, and Alicia herself, with some others taking part there over in Spain too. So it was great to see. You know, I could go on down here. This was Alicia's post from yesterday from her own walk. Um, I have just done my 2 kilometres in Alicante for Bring Alicia Home campaign. I've now been away from home 22 months to access cannabis to treat my chronic pain, and I desperately miss my family. There have been many others joining in on the walk today to try to get me home. And you know, Frank Fian, come on, buddy. Stephen Donnelly, come on, guys. Get the finger out. Like, really, like, how can you sit there and do nothing while all these people will call you out to put the change in place that's so desperately needed for so many patients out there suffering needlessly, you know? So hopefully, you know, together, guys, with efforts like this, we can keep the pressure on them, raise the awareness that we need, and get the change that we deserve. So, you know, great to see you guys. Sorry, no, I can't get read out all of these posts and everything, like, but there were so many of them up there yesterday. It was great to see. So well done, everybody. Just go over there, search hashtag Bring Alicia Home, if you want to see some of the other great posts. So yes, that was yesterday, guys. And as I say, this will continue on now for the rest of the week. So make sure if you want to get out there and get involved, it's not too late to do so yet. Again, a simple little photo of yourself out in your walk, or even just a photo in front of, if you don't want to even stand in front of the camera, you know, stand behind it so he doesn't get your photo, and just get the post up on social media. Hashtag Bring Alicia Home, hashtag Cannabis Reform Ireland, and hashtag NWD 2021. That was the hashtag being used for National Walking Day 2021. So combine all those together and get a post up there, Twitter, Instagram, so Facebook, you know, and it'll be compiled there with the rest of them then as well. 2,000 kilometres, that's the distance between Alicia now and her home here in Cork. She's stuck in Alicante, and you know, as we said there the other day, if you were to walk it, I don't know, do I still have that photo there? But yeah, if you were to walk it, it would be 2,000 kilometres. Yeah, I don't have the photo of the map there handy, but yeah, we popped it up on the screen the other day. Right, let's blaze one up. Boom, got another bowl ready here. Little bit of disobedience, a little bit late. We're 20 minutes past 4:20, but nonetheless, look, let's blaze one up for the Bring Alicia Home campaign today. Yeah, that's it, Casa. Casa saying there that 1,000 people to do 2 kilometres would be the same as 100 people to do 20 kilometres. If we're extending for the week, that's a target of just under 3 kilometres per day. So there you go, guys. Nice, easy challenge to get done. So get this stepping and get those posts going, and keep tagging hashtag Alicia, Bring Alicia Home. That's probably the most important thing in it of the campaign, really, is just to get it trending there over on social media, just so we can see all of the people out there who support this cause. And it's an easy way for you to support the campaign without outing yourself as a consumer. You know, you can support this campaign, this call for Cannabis Reform Ireland, and hashtag Bring Alicia Home, without having to be a consumer, you know. Just because you support it doesn't mean you're outing yourself as a consumer. So it's an easy one for people to support. So get involved, guys. Tell a friend as well. That's another important thing. Tell a friend. Simple campaign. 2 kilometres. Post on social media. Use the hashtags. You don't even have to go and register the volunteer form. That was just a way for me to track it. But to be fair, like, seeing all of those posts up on social media, that's a great way of tracking it, really. You just don't really get the numbers, but just the sheer volume of them up there, so it speaks volumes itself. Casa de Strogas telling DB there to check your DMs. DB Woodcraft says, so 8.8, 9 kilometres each equals 17.78 kilometres. Apologies. Sorry, I thought that was a combined actually up in your one, DB. So fair play. That was 8.89 kilometers each. So legend. Oh, you were saying that you forgot to register your dog. Nice one. I thought you were on about the other three people that you were walking with. um, Mom and daughter, Erin, you after falling asleep in us, Erin. um, Irish Hemp Harvest says, so many people walked more than 2 kilometers. Yeah, dead right, they did indeed. Teresa Connell says, yeah, I got another 6 kilometers and my friend came with me, so that's 12 kilometers altogether. So there you go, like, it all adds up, 12, 17, look, there we go, we're almost, like, we're getting there. Just those two people alone, like, that's 30 kilometers, like, as I say, like, I reckon we could have got that 2,000 kilometers there yesterday, but guys, let's keep it going, let's let's bring it to the moon. um, DB Woodcraft's just back from 4.5 kilometers. Keep adding. That's it. DP Yerty O'Hearn is the name of a Limerick otter. She robbed the name from Limerick Blind Boy. I knew this sounded familiar. All right, he loves to say yurt, doesn't he? Was it Yerty O'Hearn is the otter? Dan Jackson, what's going on? Says, I need to get myself a good bong. If you want to get an Irish one, Irish made, fucking hand blown glass, Doozy, Doozie. They're an Irish bong maker here in Ireland, somewhere in the Midlands, I think, up towards Wexford maybe. And they blow their own glass here, and if your glass breaks as well, if you've like a snap of your piece, they offer repair service as well. I do believe they repair it maybe the first time for free. And that's a really good service to have there as well. And at the same time, you're supporting an Irish business. And that's not a sponsored ad or anything. I'm just aware of the business, and I like to support local as well. But as well, you get some great bongs out there on Head in Nature. I think is like a big mass producer. So if you want to go cheap, if you're working on a budget, Head in Nature would be my recommendation. If you want to go Irish, and if you got a few pounds to spend, Doozy is where you go. Nice one, Casa de Strugus, and fair play for putting this together, Martin, and PSA. Thanks very much. Yeah, it was again, as I say, credit goes to Frank V, and he inspired me. I just kind of reacted really when I seen it. I was just like, we need to just keep the pressure on this guy and on Stephen Donnelly, but it seems like Stephen Donnelly isn't as active as Frank Fionn for doing things. Frank Fionn's a parish politician, like he loves pushing the parish politics. Donnelly, he's a quiet, like he doesn't post too much at all. Like it's very hard to get under his skin. You know what I mean? To kind of get at him a bit. But we'll get there. We'll find our cracks, and we'll get in under his skin as well. But definitely, I heard, was it Gino says that like Frank Fionn, he definitely notices all of the posts that like he can't put anything up on Twitter, and within an hour there's like 5 or 6 posts up there that have more likes than his original post, all about Cannabis Reform Ireland. So that's great. Keep that pressure on, guys. He notices. He just doesn't acknowledge it. He doesn't respond to us at all, but he notices. He sees that. And the people that he's interacting with on Twitter as well, they see that. So great stuff, guys. That's a good bit of campaigning going on out there. I know online activism, I kind of have my criticisms of it, but at the same time, it has its benefits as well, Some people just tend to get stuck there and never really want to come offline. But really, if you really want to have an effective campaign, you need to bring it offline. You need the online presence too, but without an offline presence, your campaign is doomed to fail, in my opinion. That's my opinion. Irish boy, what's going on? Just back from Amsterdam. Did a good bit of smoking, as you do in Amsterdam. How long would you recommend before driving? I'm terrified of drugger tests with all the horror stories. Yeah, you did a good bit of smoking. Well, possibly a few days. Really, if you're worried about the test. The drugger test itself, you could be safe after like 24 to 36 hours, maybe. But then when you get the blood test will detect you for up to a bit longer. But the thing is, to get the blood test, you have to fail the drugger test. So possibly, you're talking about at least 24 to 36 hours there. because that's when the presence of it in your saliva actually kind of goes away. It's not as detectable in your saliva as long as it is in your blood, and that's what the Dragar 5000 is. So 24 to 36 hours would be my advice, but if you really want to be safe, 2 to 3 days, like go that 48 to 72 hours, just to be sure if you're really worried at all. Because like if you're really worried and you go up to a checkpoint and the cops see you're nervous, like they'll just be like fucking, looking for any reason to test you. So, you use your better judgment in that one. Yeah, Mustawa says possibly a week, Irish boy. They're only looking for trace amounts. It's an absolute overreach. Garda admit that if you can fail multiple days after consuming. Yeah, that is true. But I reckon with the Dragar 5000 that like if you've got about a 3 day window there between your consumption and driving, it shouldn't test it. It shouldn't be detectable in your saliva, and at that point. DB Woodcraft, just me and the dog, nobody else. Nice. That's the way it should be. I love going walking with my dogs as well, and my Tad, bringing an old bifter and finding a nice quiet spot. Really enjoyable. Dan Jackson, we'll look into it, was going to support someone in Cork. Yeah, in Cork, I suppose my recommendation there would be Funky Skunk or Puff and Stuff. I think Puff and Stuff are still operating, but they're maybe doing only online or possibly just have their y'all store. But they're 2 Cork stores. Med is another Cork store, but not to speak too ill of them. They're not supporters of the community from any of my experience in the past, so I wouldn't like to be recommending them as a business to go support. I like to support people who support our campaign for Cannabis Reform Ireland, and that includes Funky Skunk and Puff and Stuff there. So 2 Cork businesses as well there, Dan Jackson. So take it as you will. Cassidy Struggles, is Frank Fian actually behind his own Twitter account or another PR consultant paid for by tax money? Better get the message to him by traditional letter and phone call. Yeah, that's right. I do believe Frank Fian is actually behind his own Twitter account. Actually, I don't think it's any PR bot like Leo and the rest of the boys. I think even maybe Stephen Donnelly probably has a PR bot kind of type of person there behind them, who they pay to kind of curate their posts up in social media. But I do think Frankie Boy there does his own ones. Maybe a bit of help there from the secretary probably in the office or something. But yeah, I've definitely heard it, that it's been said back to Gino, that geez, the hassle he's getting on Twitter, like he's like he can't even put a post up in it, like. So yeah, that's been a feedback that's gone back to lines from that. DB Woodcraft, when you call, you only get through to the receptionist. Yeah, that's right. When you call Frankie Fian, you're only getting onto his receptionist. Irish boy, cheers Martin, love the knowledge you have. I'm just by the book and don't want to give them a reason, as I've a trip to Canada coming up. Yeah, you see, that's it. Like, you don't want to jeopardize these things because potential court cases for sure could screw with your travel abilities there with visas and stuff like that for the countries. Has to be put through directly. Should be possible during certain hours. That's coming from Cassidy Strugas. That's the Frankie boy. So he reckons that if you ring at certain hours, or ask the secretary to put you through, you might get lucky. Other comments out there. I'm just going to put the plant up there because it's a lot nicer. Dan Jackson, CBD dispensary. Podge 85 says, out of milk, so black coffee at the moment, and got good excuse to do extra long walk to the shop this evening. Yes, get on out there, Podge, and walking for Bring Alicia Home, legend. And yeah, it definitely can't hurt Cassidy Strugas, definitely. As I say, like, if you don't knock at the door, it's not going to be opened, so you gotta knock, Plant in the post. Wouldn't mind it. I've been really wanting to get up there to Frank Fian's office and get a protest going. I really do think maybe we could finish the week off with a march up and down Frank Fian's street there outside his constituency office. Do a little 1 kilometre loop, like, having 2 kilometres done by the end of it. Just an idea. I wish I was up above in Sligo. I wish I lived up there. It'd be making it way more accessible. Oh, excuse me. Spliffs in the mail. Yeah, only if you've got some dodgy weed. Send them your spice. Send for spice for Frank Fian. Send him all the spice joints you got. Don't be wasting your good herb in him at all. He's not even going to smoke it. It'd be a complete waste. Right, let's drive on, guys, and let's get stuck into the rest of the news because we're a half an hour in. We've kind of only just touched off of some of the stuff that went on there yesterday, which is, it's all very worthwhile, but we have a whole host of other headlines to get through. So let's drive on. And we go to Dublin, in where Gardai and Lucan, above in Dublin, arrested a man after €166,900 with worth of cannabis herb was seized, along with another €8,000 in cash. And there's the photo of the cannabis and an old tweet from the Gardai as well. One man was arrested and he's been detained at the Ronanstown Garda station, and investigations are ongoing. So again, a waste of time and money. I don't know if this is as part of Operation Tara. She didn't get tagged in it, so poor Tara. Maybe that the boys are odd with her or something like that. But yeah, another load of waste of time by the cops. A huge missed opportunity here again by the community above there. If that cannabis was to be sold and distributed within the community, there's jobs that could be created from that, taxes that could be created from that, and young people that could be protected as well at the same time, because it's important that we keep cannabis out of the hands of minors, because yes, it's not great for minors to have unfettered access to this as they currently do under prohibition. So if you were to slap a 23% tax on that, or just 20% tax on that, you're talking about over €30,000 there that could be put into the local community up there. Imagine what a local football team could do with €30,000. To keep the floodlights on anyway for the whole year. I'd imagine. Because those things ain't cheap, but they could build a couple of AstroTurf pitches, maybe. Well, maybe not a couple, but at least one anyway, possibly. How much an AstroTurf pitch these days? I don't know. But yeah, again, despite me not knowing what you could spend it on, it certainly could be spent on a lot of good things out there in the community anyway, rather than wasting money enforcing a failed prohibition that just puts people in harm's way. We drive on from there, and we go from one case in Dublin to a case down in Cork, where a man who was caught with €21,000 worth of cannabis in his home last year confesses in court for possession of the cannabis. This is a case of a 50-year-old man, Brian Collins, who was at Cork Circuit Criminal Court, where he pleaded guilty to the charge of having cannabis for sale and supply at the time when its street value exceeded €13,000. So you know what that means. Basically what they're pointing out here is that it exceeds the €13,000, which means that this should carry with it a minimum mandatory of 10 years. The individual was up before, unfortunately for him, Judge Sean O'Donovan, who remanded the individual on continuing bail until October 26th. So again, what's the reason here for prolonging this? Like, what's the reason? Surely he should be able to just come up with his own determination here. Kind of sitting in front of it. The defence barrister Paula McCarthy, representing Brian Collins, said that Brian was engaging with Arbor House and would need time to get his affairs in order. So maybe that's the reason why he put it back to 26. So it seems like potentially that there's a sentence coming down the line here for this 50-year-old man. But again, what a wasted opportunity. This 50-year-old man, should he have been working with an illegal cannabis industry, he would be paying an income tax on his wages. He would be providing a much-needed service to a community that really needs to be catered for and no longer needs to be oppressed. And instead we're wasting money here, bringing him before courts. He's up on free legal aid. The time the judge spends, that's paid for by us again. Prolonging it for another month, that's more money for the solicitor, that's more money for the judge, that's the cops having to come again, take more time off, that's all us paying for it. When in fact we could have made like over $4,000 there for the local community if we were to just tax and regulate this. So well done, good stuff there to the people involved. I'll try to follow up on this when Brian's case comes back up there later on next month. Hopefully he doesn't get too long in prison. And Brian, if you're out there at the moment, man, if you want to get in touch before you're back up there into 26th, I'd gladly have a chat with you, bud. Do you know, I'd love to hear what the story is there with the cannabis as to, do you know, what happened in the raid. What was your backstory? How long you've been in the game? What's going on? I'd have a lot of questions there for you. So if you're out there, get in touch. You only seems like you're living on borrowed time at the moment, anyway. So why waste it? And we drive on from there, guys, and we go to County Clare, where it seems Gardai and County Clare have been quite busy. So in County Clare, and I'll get this photo off because it's not for this headline, where Gardai and Ennistymon seized €11,500 worth of cannabis herb and resin at a property in Kilfenora. So the Gardai and went down on Saturday evening, and they searched the property in Kilfenora, and they found €5,000 worth of cannabis herb and €6,500 worth of cannabis resin. There was no images of the products there for me to get access to show you. But the guard said that there was no arrests being made in relation to the seizure, but they're following a definite line of inquiry. And the drugs seized during the search have been forwarded to Forensic Science Ireland for analysis. So here again, above in Clare, we've got Gardai wasting their time, a victimless crime here in a sense, because, even the people buying the cannabis would have been consenting adults buying it, not really being victimised in any real way. And now the Gardai are wasting their time carrying out like a definite line of inquiry. So what's the story here? This was stashed in a bush or something. Are the boys going to be fingerprinting this now or something, trying to link it up with somebody in the local community that they were watching? But the fact that they're just wasting time at this at a time in Ireland when, we've got a lot more problems to be dealing with out there in terms of the burglaries that are going on around the country. There's a lot of fucking pedophiles coming into the country as well, and already in the country. There's some nasty individuals out there, and our Gardaí instead are out there doing inquiries on these non-violent, non-threatening cannabis dealers. What a waste of time. And as I say, the Gardaí in County Clare were quite busy because above in County Clare, not only on Saturday did they make that seizure, but the Thursday before. And this is one I missed on Friday's 420 News, but on the Thursday before they seized €45,000 worth of cannabis above there in County Clare. This was when at around 2 o'clock at about 4 o'clock on Thursday, September 23rd in Killaloe, Gardaí of the Divisional Drugs Unit assisted by the local Gardaí, they searched the premises at O'Brien's Bridge, and they found over €45,000 worth of cannabis, and a man in his late 20s was arrested at the scene. So again, as I say, the Gardaí in Clare being quite busy because not only that, they also the day before on the Wednesday they seized another €12,800 worth of cannabis, and I did report on that at the time. So again, above there in Clare, just in a short few days, they managed to seize over €50,000 worth of cannabis. You can imagine what could be done above there in the local communities with the money that could be made off of the sale and supply of that to consenting adults, and at the same time, again, protect the more vulnerable younger community out there from the dangers posed by these drug dealing gangs who can recruit them and sell to them at that age where they're more vulnerable, where their brain is still developing, where they need to be most protected. And the only way we can really do that, again, is through regulations. We've shown that with alcohol and cigarettes, the consumption of alcohol and cigarettes amongst our younger population, it's decreasing. Why? Because they're educated about the dangers and the ill effects to their health of it. Again, still to this day, because of the misinformation campaigns out there around cannabis and other drugs, young people don't trust the mainstream narrative towards drugs, and instead they learn from their peers, and they take unnecessary risks that could be avoided with proper regulations and proper education. We could follow in the footsteps again of Iceland, as I talked of here in the show in the past, where again they've diverted young people away from using drugs until a later stage in their life, by engaging with them through better access to after-school services, extracurricular activities, such as sports. It doesn't even have to be sports. It could be other type of things, such as books and all sorts of things like that. And also as well, making it more possible and more important to the parents to spend time with their kids as well. So as well as educating the kids, there was a part of educating the parents there as well. So yeah, wasted opportunity. And that's the cases all in Ireland anyway this week. Today, Monday. At least that's all that I could see up in the news myself. Thankfully. So let's get out of Ireland and we jump across the pond to the UK, where we start off in the UK with some negative news, unfortunately, where over in the UK, a teenager was found living in what was described as a miserable life as a gardener in a £56,000 cannabis factory. And this is the case of a 19-year-old Albanian teenager. So this young fella was caught at a cannabis factory there where they had 80 cannabis plants growing at the time when the raid happened. And fortunate enough for this young fella, the cops were calling to the property for an unrelated matter. So it was just by chance that they actually happened to come across the illegal cannabis grow there. You know, had they not been calling for that other unrelated matter, whatever that might have been, they would never have discovered this young fella living in the conditions that he was living in. They describe it here where he barely was getting any food. It says at times he had nothing to eat or drink and he had no way of getting food and was very much under the thumb of those who owned the cannabis plants. It says that he had no interest in the value of the plants as he was only working as a gardener. The police firmly pressed him about abstracting electricity at the property, but he was clear he hadn't touched the electrics and hasn't been charged in relation to that. It's his first time in custody and he's described it as being stressful. He has very poor English and has been kept in a cell for 23 hours a day. When he's released from his sentence, he wants to go back to Albania to be with his family. So again, it's potentially here a case of the Albanian mob recruiting this young fella over there, you know, paying his family some sum of money for the service that he's providing over in the UK, where he's growing the cannabis for the cannabis then to be sold on the street there. Excuse me. I went through this in the past really about the history there with Albania and the rise of the Albanian cannabis mafias over there, and basically it became easier for them just to start growing the cannabis in the UK than trying to import it into the UK. And then that brought with it, you know, this human trafficking in turn, where young people are young vulnerable people from poor communities there in Albania get taken advantage of. They get trafficked over to the UK where they're forced to work, you know, and live inside in these grow houses. They're basically modern day slaves. And then they get caught. And what happens? They end up in front of a judge. And while the judge showed some sympathy to this individual, he still charged them with the crime of cultivation of cannabis and sentenced them to 24 weeks of detention. So again, you know, 24 weeks, that's like 6 months in prison. For being essentially a slave, a modern day slave, only enabled by today's prohibitionists, likes of the judge out there enforcing these crimes. They're actually more responsible for the victimization of this individual. You know, they've created more victims with their prohibition than, you know, this guy has with his production of cannabis. He's victimized nobody in a sense, really. Like, when you think about it, if this was just to be sold legitimately to people, none of those people would have been unconsenting, you know, having the cannabis forced on them. They've been coming and like, oh yeah, here's my £50 there, give me my fucking quarter of cannabis or however much it is over in the UK. It's a bit cheaper than here in Ireland anyway, from what I hear. But we go from there, you know, and they call this a cannabis factory. And I'll have Tommy Chong on next week, and with that in mind, you know, it's like, you call that a factory, a cannabis factory, man? This is a cannabis factory. And yes, this is a cannabis factory. This is a computer generated image of the 200,000 foot cannabis production facility that's going to be set up on what used to be an old prison ground there over in where exactly is this? This is in 60 miles north of Manhattan. And it used to be where Warwick Correctional Facility used to be located only 10 years ago. And this place actually has a history of it as well, of its own. It used to be used as a young boys' home as well for troubled young boys from the city. And it also was used in the past as well as a kind of a farm where people were brought for drug rehabilitation. So interestingly enough, to see that turnaround there in that. But Ben Kovler, he's the CEO of the Green Thumb Industries. And there's a picture of Ben Kovler there up on screen. He's 42 years old, and he's the CEO and founder of the Chicago-based Green Thumb Industries, which grows and sells cannabis edibles, vaporizers, and other products across 14 states, and is reported as having $79.3 million in year-over-year EBITDA. Sorry, that's something I should have seen what that stood for. But anyway, by the end of the second quarter, somebody out there knows what that stands for. I've no idea. That's some sort of accounting term or business term anyway. But it says is standing in the mud as he presides over the groundbreaking ceremony for his new facility. At the groundbreaking, he said this. He says the irony of building a cannabis facility near the grounds of what used to be a federal prison is not lost on us. He says we understand what happened with the war on drugs, and we're planning to flip that around. Change is really in the air. Change is happening in the country. Change is happening here, and we're able to go from a place where people used to be locked up for cannabis, where we're going to employ people and enable opportunity, create wealth, and create a positive economic environment. So that was a quote there coming from Kovler himself, just pointing out, the big turnaround there of ground that was once used to lock people up for the same plant now. Cannabis is going to be instead used to, for economic prosperity there, to give forward opportunity to people by creating jobs and creating and stimulating the economy as well, in turn. So a real turnaround. And the construction, it's going to be rolled out in 3 phases, and it's going to employ 100 local union workers. And once it's complete, the campus will be staffed by more than 150 locals, with salaries, it says here, ranging from $50,000 to $100,000. And Green Thumb Industries campus will be a model for the entire Hudson Valley, which Martucci hopes become, and that's one of the employees there as well with Green Thumb Industries. He hopes it'll become the centre of commerce for the state's expanding industry. And Green Thumb Industries currently employs 3,300 people. And as I said, that's just catering to 14 states. Do you know, imagine what that employment rate will be like once they get to expand to even more states. And that's coming. There's more states going to be legalizing, and the idea of federal legalization, that's not too far away either, hopefully. I know some of the industry, people in the industry over there in America they're not welcoming federal legalization because of the extra taxes it's going to add. But to me here, I'd see it only as a good thing, because obviously I'm not going to be paying taxes over there. But I have a little video there of Ben Kovler from the Marijuana Moment, from Forbes actually. So this video is up there on Forbes, and it's covering the history there of Kovler and his grandfather, because they have an interesting one. They're a family that actually have they made their fortune actually off the back of another drug which was once prohibited, that being alcohol. His great grandfather initially invested in what was the bloody bourbon? I think it was that was the one. Billy Beam, the Billy Beam, is that what it's called? Something Beam anyway. That whiskey. But anyway, I'll play the video and I'll talk to you again in a second.
Isn't it grand to be able to have a legitimate drink after all these years?
Certainly is.
How?
Hopefully I don't get pulled for this bloody
believe this is
music.
Prohibition 2.0. We've seen this movie before, so it's a comfortable feeling to understand how big the industry is going to go from here and how we want to position ourselves for it.
Ben Kovler is the founder and CEO of Green Thumb Industries, which is one of the nation's largest cannabis companies. Ben Kovler is an heir to the Jim Beam fortune. His great-grandfather became president of Jim Beam Distilling Company in the 30s after Prohibition ended. Transforming a business from the illegal market to a legal one is in Kovler's blood, although he's the first in his family to do it in the cannabis industry.
Learning the Beam story growing up, my grandfather taught me
Jim
a ton
Beam.
about
That was a
branding
Jack Beam.
and the consumer and how to think about that. One of the lessons we learned early was, square bottle, square shake. It's kind of a fun thing to say, but part of the brand being square bottle, square shake. This is an honest delivery. And just that nuance of, oh my God, the shape of a glass bottle of the booze actually matters to the consumer, to the brand. I think you see a commonality amongst our brands of a simple idea and a simple promise. We try to focus on that. For example, dog walkers, which we invented in-house, is a mini joint suitable for a dog walk. There's an element of charitable component to more dog shelters and treating animals humanely. It's easy to understand that. We talk about enjoy the journey, which is obviously, life is the journey, not the destination. And so trying to remind folks of that, maybe if they're on their dog walk or just having a walk, and a joint is a good thing for that walk. So the highest level, it's a product that consumers want, so they're finding a way to get it. So let's take bathtub gin and moonshine, the equivalent of illegal product, have become Jack Daniel's, Jim Beam, Jose Cuervo. And we believe Weed in a Baggie will become Rhythm, Bebo, Incredibles.
As New York prepares to launch adult use sales in 2023, Green Thumb Industries is expanding its cultivation in the state with a brand new 200,000 square foot facility about an hour away from Manhattan. This particular plot of land has been witness to more than a century of America's changing views on drugs and crime. In 1912, it was home to the New York City Farm, which was an early drug and alcohol treatment center. In the 30s, it was the New York State Training School for Boys, a reform school dedicated to rehabilitating troubled youth from the city. And by the 70s, it had been converted into the Mid-Orange Correctional Facility, a state-run prison. And the irony that cannabis will be grown on this particular plot of land is not lost on anyone.
We really think it's a full circle moment for the industry. We're going to take a place and a site that used to lock up people for cannabis. Now we're going to employ them to produce cannabis.
Should we not be doing the same here, really, in Ireland?
Isn't it grand to be able?
I know we have a lot of unused buildings around the place, just lying idle. We have a whole host of people out there. You just go and look at those cases from Clare. 3 seizures there over less than 5 days. And that's if that's a small reflection of the demand that's up there for cannabis in that area. You extrapolate that out to the rest of Ireland. And I really just, there's a tremendous amount of money and opportunity out there to really just turn this around and to make people's lives better rather than worse. The way we treat people, people like myself, being having first-hand experience of the negative outcomes of prohibition, being criminalised for it. Only just received a reminder letter there again Thursday, reminding me, hey, you didn't pay your fine. Here's instructions on how to pay it. I was like, I'm not fucking paying it. I'm like 10 days late now. Actually, it was a bit longer. Actually, it was about over 10 days late anyway. And they're sending me out reminders. Again, somebody in there in the court service is getting paid money to send me out letters. And meanwhile, we're missing out on an opportunity. I'm fucking gone through college. I've given 4 years of my life already to get my honours degree in herbal science. I want to get out there and I want to be able to cater for the community that's out there, to you good people. I would like to be able to take part and establish an industry here in Ireland where the consumers are looked after, where we pride ourselves on a high quality product, an Irish grown, sun grown product like that. That's probably something that we could really pride ourselves in, and that's something I'd really like to be able to do here. But unfortunately, we're criminals. But meanwhile, these guys over there, they're making millions off of this stuff. They're employing hundreds, thousands of people. We've so much to look forward to, and it's coming. Like, Frank V and Stephen Donnelly, they're only but fucking barriers. But we'll get around barriers. Barriers get removed, and it's only a matter of time before they get removed, or before they just get out of the way themselves, and do the right thing and change the laws as should be. Because, do we really want this? Do we want these teenagers being found in as slave conditions? No, we want to have locals employ people. We want to have people from our own country to get inspired to set up industries here, to set up their own businesses. And like his great-grandfather did with the Beam business, this individual is going to do now with the Green Thumb Industries, and we should be able to do the same here in Ireland, should we not? We jump back to the UK, just to highlight the entrepreneur, the motivation that's there within people to cater for the cannabis community, because there's so many people out there that are very passionate about the cannabis industry, about growing cannabis, about consuming cannabis, And that's the case here of, in the UK, where a farm shop owner who dreamed of turning his homegrown cannabis into a legal business one day. And this is a case coming out of the UK of Dominic Cornish, who runs the Moorland Pantry in Linton, North Devon. And I actually have a picture here of their thing. Hopefully that'll pop up. Boom, there we go. This is the Moorland Pantry. So this is the business that this guy actually owns and runs, and it looks like a lovely little shop, selling what looks to be like locally produced products there, locally produced meat as well. And you know, this guy had a dream one day of being able to set up and sell, you know, locally grown cannabis, like. And this is who we want to be growing our cannabis. Like, look at this lovely garden here that this individual has. All these squash plants, I believe, here as well. And there's kale, I think, there in the back, or is that chard? But there's a whole heap of things in there, as well as like some geese and ducks, and even as pigs there. Like, this is who we want to be growing our cannabis. And not that story earlier where we're bringing over fucking human slaves from Albania and growing it and when they're living in squalor conditions. No, we want people like this. These people know how to work with the land. They know how to grow stuff. Look at that. Like, this is just like, imagine that if this guy was able to just add a few cannabis plants there in between his crops. Like, ooh, that'd be great. Like, you know, being able to grow it. Like, look at all these chickens and turkeys there as well. You know, and imagine he has a lovely compost pile down there. Get him a few rabbits and he's laughing. But yeah, like, you know, this is who should be growing our cannabis. Like, I would love to see it, and I think it's unfortunate that this individual finds himself in front of the courts for growing the cannabis as he has. The police, when they raided his property, they found more than 100 cannabis plants there, and they searched his property, got his phone, and there was text in his phone showing that he was supplying a small network of friends in the community. And he admitted that he within the text that he dreams the one day set up a illegal cannabis business. And he had 6 kilos of what they're calling here waste products from previous grows, which he was experimenting with, possibly trying to make hemp material by grinding it up. So he was keeping his stems, like, you know what I mean? Like, this is the kind of individual you want out there growing the cannabis. Like, this guy believes in a zero waste system by the sounds of it. Like, he was trying to use the stems. Like, he didn't want to leave anything go to waste. As I said, he's probably has got a great compost pile out there. He also sold CBD products at his local farm shop there as well, which were imported into the country. But he's been jailed. He was given a 2-year jail sentence, but the jail sentence was suspended in its entirety. And he was handed then a curfew for 8 months in order to do 200 hours of unpaid work and to pay £1,200 in court costs. And that was by Judge Timothy Rose. He told the judge that the only reason he was, or the judge told him that the only reason he was not going straight to jail was because he is a single parent with responsibility for 2 daughters aged 15 and 18. And this is the part that really annoys me, right? You know, this, like, you know, just keep in mind, you know, that those lovely images there of what he was doing on his farm, you know, and the importance of what that is to your kids as well. You know, I know these kids are like growing up now almost at that stage, like, but if they're taught the importance of like where your food comes from and self-sustaining, and kind of that kind of a lifestyle, that they're important life lessons and values and skills that have. As a young person, as a person going out there into the world, and even into the world as it is right now, you know, as unstable as everything bloody is, and all of the crazy stuff that goes on, being able to grow and produce your own food and to care for animals is an incredible skill to have. But this is what the judge says about the cannabis growing. Obviously, he goes, what were you thinking, effectively doing this in front of your children? It is highly unlikely they were oblivious to it. I think it is the Bible that says that the sins of the father should not be vested on the children, but you have put yourself at a risk of a prison sentence. You know, like, when you think about that, you know, like, he was like even quoting the Bible there, like, you know what I mean? And stating that, like, his cannabis growing was a sin. Like, that's horrible. Like, you know, cannabis growing is not a sin. Like, that's an incredible skill to have. Like again, you look across the pond, look at what they're doing there at that Green Thumb Cannabis Industries. They're going to be employing hundreds of people. They're going to be creating millions of bloody dollars and putting a lot of money back into the community. But meanwhile, a couple of 100 miles away, or 1,000 so miles away, in the UK, it's a sin. And you get 2-year sentences for prison. But look, it's suspended because you're a single father of your 2 daughters. Like, and no, well done. Like, sounds like he's a tremendous father, and I commend him. Like, if that's his handiwork there in that farm, well, fucking done. Like that's beautiful. And I would love to be able to see someday, cannabis plants in amongst that other produce. And down at your local farm shop, then, maybe you actually expand and have a little cafe out the back of it, where you sell food there from that garden alongside some lovely cannabis from the garden too. What a dream that is, and I really do hope it becomes a reality someday for you. But again, if again, I'm going to try to make effort there to get in touch with this individual, have a chat with him, and see what the story is, because he seems like an interesting fella, and I really like that garden there, and I'm sure he's got a good story to tell there with that too. So we drive on from there, and we go from one story in the UK to another, where the cops in the UK have found a cannabis plant growing on the side of one of the main roads over there, A14. This is not far from this is in Ipswich, is it? But this is Suffolk Police. The Suffolk Police got this post up there on Twitter, and it's since been taken down. Actually, I went over to try to find it, but it's been taken down since. But the quote that they had up there, the tweet that they had up there was, "You'll be amazed at some of the things we come across on the A14." And that the plant was removed from the location, and it was now in the custody of the Suffolk Police. So again, what a waste of time. These cops are supposed to be out there, maybe saving lives, deterring people from speeding and stuff, and here they are at the side of the road getting selfies with a small little cannabis plant. And when you actually zoom in on it and you get a close up, like it's a male cannabis plant. It's got big pollen sacs on it. It's not even a dangerous plant, but no, nonetheless, they describe it as a dangerous plant. They said that the dangerous plant has been removed. But it's not dangerous. Do you know when you see the misinformation that's out there? And what a waste of time. Look at it, like, hey, look at the plant. Hey, the only man there, he's like, or is it a woman? I don't know. Is that a guy or a girl? Actually, it's kind of hard to tell. But it doesn't really matter. Like, that fucking stupid looking smile anyway. Like, he's like, hey, look at the cannabis plant. Come on, like, in fairness, like, waste of time. But we drive on. We get out of the UK and we go to Nigeria. And over in Nigeria, a 28-year-old man has been arrested and charged with drug trafficking after he was caught with 800 grams of cannabis. And why I'm bringing this up, I suppose, over there in Africa, over in Nigeria, this guy is basically facing a potential life sentence for he's engaging here in the unlawful dealing in hemp weighing over 800 grams. So according to the prosecution, it says here, cannabis is classified as a banned narcotic similar to cocaine and heroin and other restricted hard drugs listed in the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency's schedule as prohibited substances. The offence of drug trafficking contravenes the provisions of Section 11 of the NDLEA Act, so that's the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency's Act. Law Federation 2004, and the Act stipulates a penalty of life imprisonment if convicted of the offence. So that's unfortunate, no? That this young fella, he's only 28 years of age, a young man. It doesn't say here whether he's got kids or whatever on the outside. But to be facing a possible life sentence there, for just less than a kilo of cannabis. Like here in Ireland, right, they might say that that's like fucking €18,000 worth of cannabis, but still, is it worthy of a life fucking sentence? Like life, I don't know what life actually means down in Nigeria, but I'd imagine life probably means life down there. And I don't think the conditions in their prisons are fucking pretty pleasant either. And they're probably in there with, like, imagine you're going into prison for cannabis trafficking, and you're in there like with proper, like, real criminals, like fucking rapists, murderers, like pedos, all those kind of sickos over there like that, they'd be banging up, do you know, and you're in there, probably in understaffed prisons, and they're overpopulated with prisoners, and your life is basically on the line every day, all because of something that wasn't ever going to kill anybody, ever. Like, even the 800 grams of cannabis, like you don't need, like, you climb up a really tall building, like, and throw from the top, like, probably wouldn't do too much damage to a person under. Well, maybe it would, like, depending on how tall the building is. Like, I'm just looking at buildings around here right now, and it's just like, yeah, like, if I got hit by 800 grams of cannabis, it's like a bag of flour from the roof, like. It's like, it's not that bad, like. It was a danger to nobody, but yeah, potentially this guy's going to lose his life now or spend his life now behind bars. And then we go from there, guys, from the bad news to the more good news. Yes, go over to America, where in America there's going to be the potential for the federal legalization of cannabis when the MORE Act goes before the House panel this Wednesday. So happy days over there in America. Fingers crossed that this is going to be a successful one. It's poised to be a good one. This is the bill that's put forward by Gerald Nadler, and he's a Democrat within the New York State. He's put the bill forward to end the federal cannabis prohibition, and it's going to be voted on Wednesday. If the measure passes the full House, it'll advance to the Senate, and they're hoping that it'll go well this time. Because it didn't go well the last time when it passed the last time at the House, but when it got to the Senate, then it didn't advance any further. So sorry, I'm just looking for the quote there now. Yeah, there's going to be many bills that are going to be debated there on Wednesday. Cannabis is going to be one of them, and this is actually following over in America there as well, where they recently passed a bill last week that's going to allow maybe the opening up of banking for cannabis businesses. A big problem over there in the US for cannabis businesses is that they have to be dealing in cash because they weren't able to be working with banks because of the federal status of their business. You know, cannabis being federally illegal. But last week there was a bill that passed that basically stated that it was a defense bill apparently, but within the defense bill, they had one of the bloody points on it. It was that the banks and financial institutions would no longer be punished federally for working with businesses, cannabis businesses in states where it's legal to do so, you know, legal to engage in cannabis businesses, such as, you know, California. So happy days, you know. Maybe more positive news there to come later this week. I don't think by the time 420 News rolls around on Wednesday, they'll be after holding that. They'll be only getting ready to hold it because, you know, we're well ahead of them in terms of time. But fingers crossed, you know, thereby maybe late Wednesday night we'll have seen this bill debated and voted on, and positive news there with it advancing on, and hopefully, you know, we're one step closer to see the federal legalization of cannabis, because once that happens over there, like, it's really just going to open up the floodgates then around the rest of the world. The conversation will have to be had here in Ireland, you know. We're missing out on so much money, and we're destroying so many lives, needlessly criminalizing people who are not bad people, who are not worthy of the label criminal, such as myself. I don't feel like I'm worthy of being labelled a criminal and having my ability to travel over to America, where it's soon going to be federally legalized, hampered with, you know. So I want to bring my kids to Florida, and I don't want to have to fucking go through the hoops of the American fucking embassy above there in Dublin. Yeah. Hopefully you don't ever have to deal with them anyway. That's all I'll say. They're a nightmare to deal with. So we drive on from there, and we finished. Do we finish? No, we don't finish actually. Did I put it in? No, that was Amazon. I have one more headline there, Feet, and I haven't included it in my lineup, and that's that California state fair It's going to host its first ever cannabis competition. So that's more positive news coming out of in America for the cannabis industry. The California State Fair is a pretty big one, and for years, you know, it's been celebrating the local agricultural industries, including the wine, craft beer. You know, they've got olive oil over there. They've got cheese. They've got all sorts of stuff over there that are being produced in California by the farmers, and they've been celebrated every year at the state fair. Alongside all it, you know, they'd have the pig competitions, you know, the chicken competitions, all of that fun stuff that goes on there at those kind of state fairs. It looks like a really cool thing, to be fair. But this year now, this is going to be the first year where they're going to include the prizes for cannabis. So it'll be interesting to see what sort of prizes that are going to be announced there on the day. But it's a really good one. And they're all really excited over there, including the president of SC Labs. He said he's really excited to be involved with the State Fair because it's the traditional place where the agricultural community comes to show off their best work. And he says this further validates cannabis as part of that community. And yes, cannabis is really finding its place now within the mainstream. And also another quote here coming in from the CEO of Cultivar Brands, Brian Applegart. He says that the launch of the state-sanctioned awards will showcase the California farmer, large and small, and the incredible cannabis flower that the state has to offer. We will also educate, demystify the plant, and challenge the stereotypes. It says here then that the competition is open to all licensed growers in California. Entrants will be classified into 3 classifications representing 3 primary divisions for submission by light source, indoor, mixed light and outdoor. So those are the 3 categories over there. And then the competition will award medals for cannabis flower only, showcasing the primary cannabinoids and terpenes expressed in the cannabis flower. A total of 77 medals will be awarding, including the coveted Golden Bear Trophy for Best of California. So very nice there. Like that's incredible. Like, you know, like you put that like next to the same headline as like the one in the UK, where you've got like a freaking teenager being held as a slave effectively because of the prohibition. And meanwhile over in California, it's like, let's go down to the state fair. We're going to like celebrating like an award people for the best growing buds, like, you know, who can grow the best outdoor buds. Happy fucking days, like, you know, they're not down there saying who can grow the best outdoor buds by slaves, like, you know, that's not what's going on. No, their cannabis is being grown for by people who are well educated, because again, you know, the people get educated over there to go and work in these industries, to work in the cannabis farms, to work in the extraction labs. These are well educated people, and they're well paid, they're well looked after, you know, unlike again the counter over in the UK and even in Ireland, where we've got human trafficking going on, enabled by prohibition of cannabis, which makes these people so much money where it's worthwhile for them to do it, you know. It's almost like the prohibitionists just want to cause harm to people. I see no benefits to prohibition, yet they continue to support it and demonize us out there who call for change, you know. Oh, it's really messed up. So yeah, that's coming out of California anyway, I suppose. 2 positive news stories, 3 positive news stories actually, I suppose, if you include the one there from Green Thumb. 4 actually, for a strange turn of events. We had some positive news out of Ireland as well, you know, and if you don't know which one I'm talking about, it was this one, you know. That was a very positive news story there from Ireland. A big uptake there within that Bring Alicia Home campaign. And don't forget, guys, you've all this week again to get out there and get involved if you haven't done so already. And if you've even done it already, get out there and do it more. As I say, get up on social media afterwards, get your hashtags up there. Bring Alicia Home, Cannabis Reform Ireland, National Walking Day 2021. That's hashtag NWD 2021. That's the hashtag that they were using anyway over there on Twitter for it. So don't forget, like, it's not too late to get out there and get involved. And there's the poster there, Bring Alicia Home. Well done, nice one again to Irish Hemp Harvest out there, the legend. helping out all the time with these really great graphics. I have to say, like, give credit where it's due, and a lot of credit is due there to Irish Hemp Harvest. Get over and check out their website as well, guys, if you haven't done so already. I think it's irishharvest.ie. I think, actually, as I said, I might as well just pop it up. Yeah, irishharvest.ie. I was right, yes. So this is Irish Hemp Harvest's website. Get over there, check it out if you haven't done so already. But yes, big supporters of the community out there and the campaign for Cannabis Reform Ireland and all of those other hashtags as well. Irish Hemp Harvest has been a big supporter there. So again, as I say, it's good to support those who support the campaign here in Ireland, and Irish Hemp Harvest is certainly one of those as well. And they got some lovely products up there. I believe I've tried a few of these. I've tried the Abracadabra and the special sauce, and they were quite nice. Also got the black cherry pie, I think it was, wasn't it? Cherry pie, I think, was the other one I got off Irish Hemp Harvest, and that one was really nice, actually, the cherry pie. But these were also just as nice as well. But yeah, definitely get out there and give them some support. Excuse me, guys. So that's it, guys. That's all of the 420 news that I have for you today. Hopefully you all enjoyed that one. I certainly enjoy being able to bring it to you. Thankfully to be able to be back up on my feet after my little bit of downtime there yesterday. But again, guys, nice one for all your comments. Nice one for all of the likes and shares there throughout the show as well. I see them popping up there in the little feed I get here on this Streamlabs interface. But nice one, guys. I see Dan Jackson saying, I got a summons 5 years later for an unpaid fine. And if I don't show, it will be a bench warrant. It's sad. It's sad. It really is sad, man. Casa de Struggles say, yeah, he couldn't give a shit whether Jim Beam sells cannabis or not. Yeah, I know what you're saying there, alright. But it is interesting, you know, the tie in that, you know, how many other success stories are out there. You know, Jim Beam wasn't really a known name. You know, and if you were to think about it under alcohol prohibition, that would never have been a name, should prohibition have continued. So when cannabis prohibition ends, you know, what are going to be the names that are out there? And I hope it's not like fucking the next like Amazon, like actually literally go and hijack the Canazon. Do you know, that dark web page? But like that's possibly what's coming down the road for us, alright, is going to be big money controlling the market, and it's going to be very difficult for the small producers, you know, to get the share of the market. But I definitely do think that the craft producers, alright, will do well in certain areas, you know, where there's ability to do so anyway, as we see with beer and stuff like that as the market matures. Hype says the First Minister in the North wants to bring Filipino workers over for the meat factories, while making people on benefits work full weeks for like £90 a week. That's great. That's great. Daily Talker, what's going on? I see Daily Talker out there asking Podge what's going on. For Grace saying, yeah, that judge shouldn't have quoted the Bible. Yeah, no. But you know, a lot of these judges are quite, you know, religious, I suppose, being cut from a certain cloth, I suppose. Papa Gummy Bear says, oh my God, that story is insane, misquoting the Bible. Was it a misquote, was it? The criminal crop. Daily Talkers, yeah, chatting with Podge there. He's good, staying busy with the training. Only one bad thing, have some trips on my plants mid-flower. Should be under control though. Oh no, trips, that's no bueno. Yeah, what's that stuff? Neem oil, yeah, a bit of spray of neem oil might help. Might be a bit of something to get your hands on. I think they can do something with trips, or else, you know, good the old bio control. Ladybugs. Zombie Nation, Bible is always misquoted when suitable by both sides too. Yeah, Casa de Struggle saying you need to learn Hebrew if you're going to understand the original transcript of the Bible, if you're going to quote it. Yeah, and then you'd imagine you'd be like you did the guy there, fucking is it something Allegro, the guy who wrote the mushroom, the sacred mushroom and the cross. Didn't he know how to speak Hebrew? And after doing some work with those transcripts, he was like, "This is a fucking mushroom cult." Literally, like Christianity is a mushroom cult. That was his takeaway. Simon Allegro, I think that was sacred mushroom and the cross. John M. Allegro. That's what it was. John M. Allegro. The Sacred Mushroom and the Cross. Great book if you haven't read it. Pop it up on screen there, look, just so you can see what I'm talking about. The Sacred Mushroom and the Cross. I have an ebook version of it myself, and I've pretty much read most of it. I think I have to go back and finish the last 2 or 3 chapters. But yeah, great book. Definitely recommend going reading it. But it's basically like Christianity is just a rip off of a mushroom cults. It's kind of like what happened in Ireland, I suppose, in one sense. Like the Irish used to like pray at wells and at different points, like, you know, in their old pagan ways. And the Christians, when they come over here, converting them over, the easiest way to convert them over was like a subtle change. It's like, okay, you know, you don't want to pray at our churches or whatever. It's like, all right, look, you pray at your well, but just pray to our God as well. Include our God with your gods. And then over time, like, you know, the subtle little changes, and, you know, before you know it, like, they're no longer worshipping as they once were before at the well, you know, and it's worshipping the sun, the moon, the stars and stuff. Now they're inside in the chapel praying, doing the old saints and saints and stuff like that. But yeah, easy how to do it, like. And as well, when you think about it, like Soma was the one there with the Greeks, wasn't it? That was one of the psychedelic drinks that they were drinking back there in the times, and they would like go and have these journeys and come back with information from them, and then they would like develop all these kind of different things. But then, you know, along came Christianity and all of this stuff then out of the back of that, and these kind of teachings then get lost. You know, you have your parables and all of this stuff. Like, how else do you see angels and demons and all of this stuff? And check out my interview with Danny Nemu, and even check out some of Danny Nemu's other videos up online. But he does some very good ones there talking about different drugs within the Bible. And he's a very interesting guy, and has got some very interesting views on the Bible and the stories within it. But yeah, he kind of believes that the Bible was once an instruction manual on how to use these sacred herbs, the chief spices, the head spices, in order to reach these altered states, to commune with these different kind of I don't know what you would call them, different dimensions. Is that the word? I don't know. Different spaces. And come back with these like different bits of knowledge and all sorts of insights. Things we've once known but have since forgotten. And why have we forgotten? Because we had a blindfold put over our eyes by Christianity. Yeah, Casa de Stro, well, look how dangerous that barely visible plant is to society. Those plants could take your eye out. Says DB Woodcraft. That's it. Somebody out there anyway taking part in the Feed the Birds campaign over in the UK. Yes, nice to see it. Republic of Dave says, imagine being a judge of all the things and thinking quoting the Bible helps your case. Egypt's never heard of let he without sin cast the first stone. That's very true. And it's often been shown that these judges have been despicable individuals, to be fair. Zombie Nation, what's going on, Zombie? Seeing out there. how do they see it? That's what I want to know. They can't see obvious criminal activities going on in plain sight. I'd say by chance they just happened to pull in, I'd say, Ian, and they were probably doing a speed check there. The man gets out to take a piss and he's like, "Oh, the cannabis plant. Oh, Jesus, we've hit the jackpot. Quick, quick, call the force. Get the helicopters out. We found the cannabis plant." But yeah, I'd say they just stumbled upon it by pure chance, or maybe a concerned member of the public rang them in. I was walking down the road and I seen a cannabis plant and I felt very in danger. Fudge saying the Facebook stream is down. Oh no. That's probably over the bloody video I played there a while ago, maybe. Hype says, got hit in the head with an ounce of soap. Daily Talker says, I'd love to be hit in the head by a big bag of butt. Yeah, it's like if it wasn't compressed into a brick, it'd be just like getting hit by a big fluffy pillow, I'd say. You know. Skatana says, a pack of flour tossed from a roof can certainly hit hard. If it hits the back of your head and you don't know it's coming, I wouldn't want that in my neck. Yeah, that's very true, alright. Like, if you didn't know it was coming, but if you could brace for it, like, you know, you take it like a trooper, I'd say. Or else, you know, possibly even a case of seeing stairs. Podge, Germans have already had a positive vote with cannabis legalization, was on Reddit. Interesting, I didn't see that. I didn't come across any of the German legalization news. But happy days, I'll go over and check that one out there in a little bit. Nice one for that, Podge. Daily Talker says, sounds like there are some actual real humans behind that competition at the fair. Yep, it seems so. But again, you know, it's a big marketing opportunity there as well for big business, you know, to be able to go down there and win the state fair. It's a big talking point there and a big opportunity. So, yeah, it's a great opportunity there for the local businesses, the small guys, to be able to compete with the big businesses out there, because hopefully it is an honest fair with honest judges, and they're not going to be bought off, and they really are going to vote on what is the best quality at the fair. That's what you have to imagine anyway. So that can only be good for the small guy. Equal opportunity there to compete in some degree. If Martin wore a green shirt, would we just see a floating head? Could be a laugh. Yeah, you would just see a floating head. That's all you would see, like from the neck down, literally all around the room there, fight with a green top. Yeah, that's all you'd see. I've often sat here in front of it and almost went live with like a green top. I think I done it with a blue top one day and I was pretty much almost invisible. Mustawas, great show as always. Thanks for making Monday something to look forward to. Not a bother at all, Mustawas. Thanks very much for that positive feedback. Casa de Struga says, keep it peer to peer. I will only buy from a trusted source and I can't trust global alcohol brands. There you go. That's very true. Paj85 says, great show, Martin, and thanks again everyone for turning in, especially on this wild weather Monday. And I suppose as well, actually, Casa de Strugas, once the industry gets to take off here, I suppose people, it's important to know who was there and fighting for this all along. You know, don't forget those who were there first, and you know, don't like get bought up by all of the marketing that's out there. There's a lot of people out there fighting for this, not just myself. There's a lot of people out there campaigning for this. I mentioned some of the other businesses out there as well, including like R420 Supplies is out there. These are some of the main players there in Ireland at the moment, out there campaigning, involved with the activists and supporting the campaign. And they've a stake in this as well. And hopefully once cannabis is legalised here, they'll get the place that they rightly deserve there, and the likes of Amazon doesn't come in and just get to buy up and gobble up the whole market. or big alcohol, or big tobacco, for that matter. Local industry, that's what I want to see. Like people from in Ireland, growing in an industry, you know, started small and just growing it up based upon, you know, good quality, just repetitive, repeat customers coming back for the good quality. And just word of mouth then, and demand getting out there. That's how it should be. Cannabis will sell itself, like, you know, really. Like, you just have to be a good grower of it. And we need the local growers. Skatana says, I caught a ladybird in the garden and brought it inside to my tent. Saw him as I pulled it out for the chop. Working away happily. Nice, happy days. That's the job, and the ladybirds could definitely do with a good home anyway. Like, to me, fucking sometimes it'd be hard to find them at times. Even though I had a nettle patch out the back garden there for a bit last year, and I had a lot of ladybirds out in it. Gave a few to my friend. Let's get honest, at Daily Talk, or how well I got trips since veg stage and couldn't even see them initially, only their poop, I'd imagine. Now they're everywhere and I'm too far into flower. No. And Daily Talk says, my small tent is full of buds and it was even fuller with leaves. Should have done way more defoliation. Yeah, we gotta keep on top of that maintenance. Yeah, you can buy them online there, the ladybugs, Pod just saying. Yeah, I've seen people buy them online. All right, it's kind of funny if watching those like little ladybug trap things, you know, or not traps, but like whatever they're called, the little egg pods, and all of the ladybugs, man, they'd have like 1,000 or so ladybugs coming out of them there, all within a few days of each other, like, and that's insane inside in a little grow tent indoors. It's mad to see. And I can imagine that getting annoying, or if they got out around your house then as well, like. Poppy Gummy Bear. So what you're saying is we need more orgies. Who's saying that? What? Get the invites to me, guys, if there's any orgies going down. For a friend. Pod 85, or even go to a local grow shop and they might be able to help you. Yeah, local grow shop should have something like neem oil or something like that, and that should sort those trips out. Other comments, just flicking down through them there. I have another bowl packed up. I'll blaze one up there now, gee. I've been warned by the boss lady I'm not allowed to go Thai boxing tonight. So I'm grounded. I have to rest. So here we are, kicking it with G. Mr. Howes, I wonder did they arrest Mother Nature when they found that mammoth bush of cannabis? Yeah, I'm sure Mother Nature is wanted for many crimes, because like right now out there's mushrooms growing in a field, and I'm destined to go find some this evening. Yes. That's going to be my relaxing evening. The dogs are getting out. I'm going to get my 2 kilometers done in the location that I'm going to keep close to my heart, even though I think I showed pictures up here before and people were quick to say, oh, is that place? And I was like, hush. But yeah, we're going to go out there and see if we can find some mushrooms this evening. And that's all thanks to Mother Nature. Gotta love her. Let's get honest. Due to Brexit, they can no longer import pesticide chemicals. Oh, interesting. D, what's going on, D? How you keep, Martin? Great to see everyone out walking for Alicia. It was great support there in that campaign, and as I said, that campaign is going to continue now for the rest of the week. So I just encourage people to get out there, walk 2 kilometers for Bring Alicia Home. Use the hashtags Bring Alicia Home, Cannabis Reform Ireland, NWD 2021. So you get those up on any of our social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Tag Frank Fian and Stephen Donnelly as well while you're at it. Daily Talker, mine never sit on the black fans. They seem to much prefer sitting and shitting all over my leaves. Lovely. Cassidy says, I'm much more concerned with expungements. Yeah, well, that's what's going on over in America. I think these bills, that MORE Act, if the MORE Act is to pass over there now, the bill being put forward on Wednesday, that includes with it expungements for anybody convicted of crimes relating to cannabis. So happy days, like, again, fingers crossed, like that's a very positive thing, and it's a conversation that really needs to be had here in Ireland too. You know, while I've been talking about all of the businesses and all of that stuff, like, again, you know, people like myself, I've got criminal convictions there that I don't want. that I don't deserve for cannabis, and I would like to have them removed. And if they were to legalise cannabis here in Ireland, and I've to still be labelled a criminal at the same time for something that like people are just engaging in as a normal business now, that made make no sense. But yeah, expungements, yeah, they're certainly top of the list of priorities there for any bills that I would have reapproved of, that's for sure. Mark Suffix, I'd love to have access to properly grown regulated weed. You never know for sure what's in street weed. No, you never know really for sure, unless you're getting it off of somebody that's grown it for themselves. At least then you can be sure, like, you know, that if you know the individual, or if they're consuming it themselves, that they're going to be growing it to a good quality and standard for themselves. So that way then, you know, you get good quality and standards. But yeah, that's the only really real way to get access to it currently under prohibition, is just to grow your own. And it's not too hard. Get over to Percy's Grow Room and you learn all about it. percysgrowroom.com. Daily Talker says, better to have buds with no leaves than to let the bugs near the buds. I just had to remove those leaves, even if it cuts my harvest by half. Yeah. But P2P network of growers is a high priority too, coming in from Cassidus Drugas. Well, yeah, that's something we've been definitely promoting here on the show, is P2P, grow your own, and if you can support one or two friends there within a circle, or even better again, just have a circle of you growing your own, and sharing, you know, one of you grow the indica, one of you grow the sativa, one of you grow the hybrid, or maybe like have more of you in it, you know, and growing even more varieties and strains, and just sharing it. Having little fucking cookie parties or brownie parties or whatever, you know, edible parties. You know, this is a really great opportunity to socialise around it as well. And you know, the likelihood of getting caught, like, it's not very high at all. Once you keep your electricity usage down, you know, don't go over fucking 2000 watts, 2 kilowatts per hour, you know, don't go over that, and you should be good. Like, you know, you really won't be setting off any alarms around the place. Get yourself a good tent, good fucking fans and stuff like that as well. And yeah, the chances of getting caught, like, unless you tell everybody, it's quite low. Grow your own, set up your little communities of growers. That's the way to go. And we had a really good one going before, but unfortunately over the years, you know, people just stopped growing for their own reasons, some of them getting raided and stuff like that. But now I'm down to one buddy who does a bit of growing still, when I used to have about 6 or 7. Oh my god, yeah, the cats would destroy the house chasing the ladybugs. Ask it honest. That'd be an interesting one to see, alright, like the cats chasing ladybugs. Even though we better just stick to the lasers. Less mess. You can control where the cat goes then. Podge 85, well, that's no harm in the extra rest, Martin. Yeah, that's that nice one. What's your fudge right? I'm having after party bowl of the dosey dose 33. Yes, I have to say, actually, Monsieur, that was incredibly nice. I bought in a strain there last year that got sent over from Spain, and it reminded me of that. I can't remember what the strain was last year, but it had a very similar taste to it. But that dosey dose you gave me there above the protest, man, fucking, oh, exquisite, dude. I blazed it up there once I got back. I had a bowl that evening, and another bowl or two the following day. And it was top quality, really exquisite stuff. So compliments to the chef. I'll have a little after bowl party here with you as well. We'll blaze one up as well. What else is out there? Daily Talker. I'm going to start mushroom hunting as soon as I start seeing them grow in my yard. Um, nice. Excuse me. Yeah, they're definitely popping up. The conditions are definitely there for them. I'm going to go out there and do a bit of hunting later on. So I'll have a few photos up if I'm successful. I'll let you know. Podge saying, yeah, the temps and conditions are finally looking good to start hunting for mushrooms in the next couple of days. Yeah, we're going to see definitely a drop in temperature now in the next 2 or 3 days, which will trigger the fruiting of the Liberty caps. But there's definitely wavy caps out there as well at the moment. The psilocybus cyanosus, that's the wavy cap. But definitely get your ID guides for that one, because there is some dangerous lookalikes for it. They'll give you awful cramps if you pick the wrong ones. But the Liberty cap, she's easy to pick, and not too many. There's very little lookalikes, if any at all, you know. Mar Suffolk's looking forward to going on a hunt. Been looking every season for 3 years, never had any luck. I think this year I will find some. I hope I will anyway. And yeah, look, Mark, look above Cassidus Drogas. He put a link up there. It's magicmushroommap.com /map. And if you go there, you get a map, and it'll show you the areas where the probability of getting mushrooms will be high. And as well, if you go up there, I believe there's a little description as to what you should be looking for in a field. South-facing fields are certainly more beneficial. What's the word? Productive, more productive. So they're more fruitful. So south-facing hills, grounds that haven't been recently tilled. So you'd like to go into grounds where the earth is undisturbed, like for a number of years, because the mycelium takes a while to establish itself. And if the ground is getting tilled, then the mushrooms aren't going to be able to fruit and establish themselves there. So that's something to look out for. Undisturbed ground. Again, fields where sheep graze and things like that are always good places to go. As like sheep, they don't graze too deep. They don't damage the roots. Well, they tear the roots, but they don't like go right down to the earth. They do enough where the mycelium can establish itself actually in the roots. But like where in a cow field, like, you know, big fat heavy cows walking across the field, it's going to be harder for the mushrooms to get established there. So sheeps are always definitely the good ones. I know a lot of people still have benefit or have luck in cow fields. But I've always found that sheep fields are always better maintained. Nice neat trim by the sheep. Skahanus, believe in the Liberty cap, and the Liberty cap will find you. To find the mushroom, you've got to be the mushroom. I like a Skatanist. I love it. Good stuff. Dan Jackson saying there's some great hash around at the moment. Yeah, nice, good to hear. I know I got some nice stuff there off of Danke Shannon, King Crop 420 over on Snapchat. If you want to go give the dude an ad, he had some nice hash there about 2 weeks ago, was it, or 3 weeks ago? I can't remember now the last time I got something off him. But yeah, he had some nice stuff there at the time as well. It's been a while since I actually had some hash. Actually found a little piece of it there just on my counter a few minutes ago. That must have fell out of the bowl when I packed it. Gone on YouTube. Who's that? Sean M. No way. What's happening? Soft squidgy amazing stuff. Nice. Happy days. What about anarchy farmers? I don't have to deal with anarchy farmers where I go, thankfully. Yeah, Podge says it's all good there. So Sean M, maybe hit the refresh there or something like that. I'm not too sure. But yeah, soft squidgy is quite nice. But yeah, the anarchy farmers, as I say, I don't have to deal with them. I get lucky where I go. I won't say who I have to deal with up there because it'll give away what I'm going looking. But I used to be a member. That's all I'll say with the spot I'm going to. Yeah, died for a moment, reload is good. Happy days. Not too sure what happened there. Not seeing any dropped frames on my side anyway, so it's all good on my side. It's all ye. Alright, we pack one more ball. As it, Monsieur Fudge, I just tell the farmers I'm looking for mushrooms. Just be honest with them. I'm just looking for mushrooms. And like they're probably like, oh yeah, no bother, check the field down there. The field is fucking good down there. You're looking for the endorsement of the physical tunnel of reality. You'll freak the poor farmers out if you say that to them. They'll be calling fucking the mental hospital for you. They'll be out the straitjacket. There's a fella out in the field here, and he said he's looking for the tunnel of reality, and I think he's a bit crazy. Hype, shh, hype. Stop now, hype. Give it away. Don't be giving it away. Or you know. But yeah, that's a word in my hair where I go. Oh damn it! I should have said no more. Now everybody's gonna know. So what can you do? As Katana says, narky farmers can't do much. It's not illegal to pick Liberty caps. It's not illegal to pick Liberty caps, but it is illegal to possess them. Unfortunately, in Ireland anyway, it is. In Ireland, it's illegal to have Liberty caps in your possession. So as soon as you pick them and you're in your possession, it is then illegal. So I suppose the act in itself of picking them is not illegal, but as soon as you have picked them, you're now in breach of the law because you're possessing an illegal mushroom, you know. So yeah, but that is the reality. I think John O'Regan was actually up for mushrooms there not too long ago as part of some of his sentencing. He had illegal mushrooms, psilocybin mushrooms, and I think he's back up now next month or something like that for that. But yeah, it'll be an interesting one to see what happens. You should go back and check out that interview I done with himself. There was a guy we bumped into up there on the day. I can't remember what his name was, but he was up for mushrooms as well. It was funny enough. The mushroom guy, like he was a bit out there, but a funny guy, a real character. Yeah, you see, Casa de Drogas, how many people actually get charged with mushroom possession? Not many. Not really many, because, I suppose you don't smell mushrooms on people like you do with cannabis. You know, people tend to do mushrooms at home. They don't really tend to be out with them as such. Whereas, like, with cannabis and cocaine, you know, you've more of a chance of being out with those and getting caught with them. People do get caught with them, but I definitely say it's like fucking below 100 anyway every year that can actually get done for mushroom possession in Ireland. But like, how many people actually do mushrooms in Ireland then every year? I'd imagine there's a lot. I'd imagine it's in the thousands, and you've less than 100 getting caught with them. Like, again, the prohibition of drugs like has a lot to be asked of, questioned. Like, because how many people are being harmed because of it? Like, these people who are out there using mushrooms, not potentially picking the wrong ones. Dangerous stuff, like. Monsieur Fudge, oh man, that's a dangerous one. He says, as soon as the popo come, eat the lot and have a good night in the cell. I don't know, would it be good, man? That is like just a recipe for a bad fucking trip, like. A challenging one anyway. Fuck. I agree with you, but like I suppose like if the popo come and you eat them all, you're not going to go to the cell. You're now going to be stuck out in the field just tripping balls after eating all your mushrooms, which could be a good night. It's just like, right, I'm just going to lie down here now. I've got a couple of hours that I have to pass by, you know, before I can go anywhere else. But yeah, that'll be a very funny one. All right. I have to drink some more water. This cottonmouth is real. Martin's World, not correct. They become illegal as soon as you dry them. I am quite certain about this, having read it a short while ago. I'll get back to you on the source. Will take a while to find it again. Dang it. Yeah, I'm not too sure, because I think that used to be the law, that they used to have them fresh, and that if you dried them, that it used to be illegal then to sell the dried mushrooms. I think that's how they used to be able to sell them in like the Funky Skunk and other places before. And then when they changed the law, that even the fresh form became illegal then of the psilocybin mushroom. Otherwise, they would still be kind of working with that grey area there through the different head shops around the country, I would imagine still. I think that's why they abandoned it. They were no longer even allowed to sell the fresh ones. But if memory serves me correct, Cassidus Drugas is out there as well. I believe you might know a bit about the selling of the mushrooms and the change in the law at that time. I think you might have been a bit more involved in the kind of the whole politics of it at that time. Whereas I was more around cannabis and stuff like that. But yeah, I do definitely think that the fresh variety of the mushroom is still illegal. Because otherwise, you could effectively just pick them, vacuum seal them, keep them fresh, pack them in a protective environment, even freeze them then at that point. They're not dried, they're still fresh, and then you could sell them. I definitely think that changed. Could be wrong. I'm definitely 100% open to correction on that. Yeah, pre-2006. Yeah, that's pre-2006. I think after 2006 is when they introduced the that fucking wide all encapsulating. No, it was a bit longer after that actually, when they introduced the Novel Psychedelic Substances Act. But I think mushrooms might have caught up a bit before that one again even. Could be wrong though. Again, I'm definitely open to correction on that. I'm not too sure when that law has changed around mushrooms in Ireland. They were sold in the Funky Skunk when it used to be over by Washington Street. So that was quite a good few years ago. Yeah, there was a sign at the front of Utopia Nation for several years: fresh mushrooms for sale here. Yeah, fresh mushrooms. And then the law changed and they couldn't sell them anymore. That's what I believe. And I do believe it was the shop stopped selling after the law changed, but the sign remained. Yeah, memory of what once used to be. But yeah, I believe it was after that young fella jumped out the window of the building above in Dublin. And apparently there were mushrooms that were sold by one of the companies above there in Dublin, and they introduced the change in the law then afterwards, backwards. So we just ban them. We're going to ban them because somebody got hurt on them. Why is alcohol not banned? How many people have do you know that ad? Do you know that alcohol ad with Batman? Oh man. That's the one. No alcohol, know your limits. I don't think there's any music that'll get me pulled for this one. But can you remember this ad? Oh no, my balloon! Oh, look at. I would probably get pulled for that music. Uh-oh.
Too much alcohol makes you feel invincible when you're most vulnerable.
This is your ad that's out there about alcohol. Like it's not banned. We don't ban alcohol. We just warn people. We say, hey guys, when you're out there drunk, you're not fucking Superman. You're not Batman. Don't be going climbing things and thinking you're something that you're not. Know your limits. But meanwhile, when we're cannabis, it's oh no warnings as such like that. We're not going to educate people. We're just going to criminalize them. It's we're going to lock you up. We're going to take you out of society because there's no place in society for people like you who use cannabis. But meanwhile, for alcohol, it's yeah, we'll tolerate these fools who think they're Superman or they're going to do all of this crazy shit or worse, they just turn into complete fucking scuts, you know what I mean? Whoa, what's happening there through Facebook? Loads of comments coming in there through Facebook all of a sudden. So not too sure what happened there. The banned Skittles ad. What one was that? Banned Skittles ad. I'm sure there's probably many. Are we going looking at ads now? Banned Skittles ad. There's a few of them here.
Is it cold in here?
Do you want to see this? So who's a scatanist?
Oh, it's hot. Give me some sugar dirty. Get ready for my sweetness. Ooh, it's about to come, it's about to come, it's about to come. Ooh, turn it. All over you.
Share the rainbow. Taste the rainbow.
Yes. Fair enough. Is that the one you were on about, Scatanist? You just got me kicked off YouTube, Scatanist. Wow, scary cannabis ads are the last thing we need. But like Papa Gummy Bear, they're hilarious. The scary cannabis ads are fucking hilarious. Like they're actually like, we need more of them. Like we need more of those. And we need legal cannabis so we can really enjoy those even more. Like more cannabis warning ads, you know, more people melting into couches, more people talking to their dogs, more frying of eggs representing your brain. It's fucking hilarious. Especially when you're after consuming some cannabis. Like you blaze up one of these bad boys and you watch some of those ads. You sit down and you watch that Reefer Madness, and it's just like, oh, this is hilarious. It's comedy gold, really. Like, so we need more of those. Once cannabis is legal, though, we definitely need campaigns of education. You know. It's good hands. It was like, he ain't Batman. There's no cape. Yeah, Papa Gummy Bear. Yeah, fair point there. Classic stoner tales. Yeah. I'm not too sure. They're kind of Facebook screwed up all the comments there. Lost loads of your comments. Right, so we'll start wrapping up, guys. We'll start packing by one more bowl blazed up to blaze up there. Get another drink. Any other comments? Any other closing comments there for you guys? Anybody other shout outs? Shout out there actually to people over in Cape Verde. 420 there just a minute ago over in Cape Verde. So Cape Verde. This one is for ye. Last bowl before we go mushroom hunting. Silence. Crickets from the audience. Oh, excuse me. Oh. Nice one. I see Papa or Podge saying good luck this evening on the hunt. Nice one for that, Podge. What's happening, Guru? Thanks to go. I'm doing pretty good, but I'm not doing too bad at all. I'm going to enjoy my 2 kilometers walk and mushroom hunt. Yes, definitely. And Monsieur Fudge is going to be doing the same and says he's going to get some pics up. Nice. Love me some mushroom pictures. I take so many of my phone. I don't have much room for more. Wait, I don't know. Fucking... Yeah, that's probably what I get for my puns. Fucking crickets don't get nobody laughing. But where's that? Oh yeah, there it is. The drum. Gotta get my soundboard labelled up so I know what button to actually hit. Nice one, Fetch. Nice one. Skitana says, yeah, enjoy the hunt. Train your dogs to sniff them out. Get a truffle pig. Guys, has anybody watched that movie Pig yet? With fucking Nicolas Cage in it. No? Yes? Maybe? Somebody? Anybody? That movie Pig was... I watched it there and I thought it was pretty good. Watched it the other night. Fucking... Yeah. I'm a guy who loves my animals, like, so I could really relate to, like, that dude and, like, his connection to his pig. If that sounds like something you'll be into, check it out. It was a pretty good movie. Didn't, like, have too much to the storyline and anything like that. It was just, like, a man and his pig out in the woods hunting for truffles. And his pig gets robbed. And then fucking just craziness then afterwards. It's great fun being so close to a fire station. There are loads of sirens all day and you get to be wondering, are they coming here? Should really learn the difference between the fire engine and the cops at this stage. Just at home, missed the show, I'll watch it back. Nice and good against the gut. Had some nice news there today, some good news. Obviously some bad news within Ireland, some cannabis was seized, but some of the usual. Right, so nice one, guys. Definitely happy hunting. So let's get to it. I see the sun is still shining. I see lovely blue skies out there at the moment. So hopefully there's blue skies and sunshine wherever you are right now. And I hope you all have a lovely evening. I'll be back on Wednesday. I'll have some more 420 news for you guys. And don't forget, I'll be back getting some more interviews done over the next week or so. I've one confirmed with Tommy Chong for next week, so I look forward to that. And yeah, we'll have many more there as well. So yeah, we'll be back on top of the interview games very soon. So look forward to those. So have a nice evening and stay ablaze, guys. Keep it lit and see you on Wednesday. More 420 news. Peace.